Zachary, you were chiming in the conversation, but it wasn't clear to me. Did you want to be up as part of the speaking as well, or did you just want to watch this stuff? Not this time. Okay. Cool. Alex, you had prepped a few different topic areas to maybe go through, and then I'd love to, if you want to start with talking through those, and then we can dive into what people are excited about. I will say that I personally have not a very structured approach to my use of Cursor so far. I have not deep dived into configuration or things like that, but I have done a bunch of working on my own personal workflow there. A lot of it informed by Manuel, but so we can get into that. But yeah, I see you're sharing a little bit. Do you want to get us started with some of the topics that you had proposed?
Yeah, we go through mostly cursor features. I'm not going to speak about VS Code because I assume we all know more or less about VS Code. So there's topics just about cursor and its AI features. So we'll start from basic stuff like settings. This brand new profile, key profile window. So there's snapshot now functions installed, so nothing is set here, so that's like a fresh info. Then we'll go through app composer, edit terminal, and once we get all these basic features talked about, I'll show you our channel's workflow, which is similar to the JSON ones, the JSON from YouTube. Yeah, I got one special try some bonus that you won't find on any tutorial probably at the moment, but yeah, that's for finishing clients. I think if anyone wants to ask for something, to solve a problem or to answer any question about using Cursor, just go ahead as you try to figure out whatever problems you have, questions. Yeah, my English is so, but hope you won't have any problems with understanding. All right. So first thing, the most important one, I guess, using Cursor is enabling all the features, which
Alex, can you zoom in a little bit so folks can see better?
Again?
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Yes, sure. That's fine.
That work for you, Zachary? Awesome. Yeah, looks good. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Wow, that's big. All right. Yes. So first, we're gonna, of course, enable, but that's probably enabled by default, cursor rules file, which is subset for system prompt. We can specify here the general rules for AI, which is our system prompt, which will be used for every project. But if we are going to leave this empty and just use the cursor rule file, then we can specify cursor rules for different cursor rules for each project, which gives us quite a lot of flexibility because we can also change easily the rule file as the projects go on. We can switch if we have different versions of cursor rule files and so on. We'll come back to this later. Tree-based mode. Wrote message we let them use info about what we are doing, but that's not we. So I would advise to enable privacy mode, especially if you're doing some work stuff. Okay, so next we cache models. This is important to like. They have the brand new Sonnet 3.5, the new one. So make sure it's enabled because I don't think it's enabled by default. So it's also good habit to check on these settings every once in a while to see if there's any new models added. We can turn off whatever we don't want to use. Also, we can add models here if there's nothing specified by default. We can add whatever name we want. Of course, it will work only if the model exists. And so here we have API keys. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, I hope. So we can enable OpenAI or Anthropic or whatever key. And we can use such models from the API. But we are not going to use today this custom ones. Further, here we have most of the features, which I usually go by enable all of them. I disabled, yeah, let's enable all. Composer is very important. Okay, this one is, yeah, I will turn this on. This is quite confusing. We'll get through this link action. The rate on links might, yeah, okay, I will show you this later. You will have code-based indexing, which is auto indexing by default, but it's also a very good habit to manually assign index quite often to make sure that all changes in code base are properly indexed. Here we have dogs, which is quite a neat feature because this lets us add and documentation from web theoretically to Cursor, so we can paste a link to whatever docs we want. We'll find the yeah, on five points have already added the adds link, Cursor indexes. Yeah, this is not always okay. This works fine. Okay, maybe they fixed this already. It doesn't always work. Sometimes there's some problems. It's indexing like one page or just few pages. But here I added haystack, dogs, terms, 261 pages. Seems like it's all there. So this is really nice because we can later call those docs in chat to add the context of these docs to our chat. This is very useful because obviously LLMs don't really have any current docs. And it's especially important with all the like LangChain docs, which are changing like every day. Here are some more UI settings, which I'll just list to your Manuel's preferences. The same goes for editor. Terminal hint, show terminal hover, hint use previous, we turn this on the action. This is quite exciting, but we again enable all of those. Okay, so that's all for the basic settings, but also that's not everything because it's also nice to open on those traditional VS Code settings, which is fine. So, and most of this stuff is set by default. You're going to enable shadow workspace. I can't really explain you how does it work. Basically, it's supposed to do the job in the background. So it's supposed to make work faster. But this is experimental feature, so I'm not sure if it's actually working right now. Guys were saying about stuff on Alex Friedman. They told, I think, so if I remember correctly, they said it's not actually working right now, but if it's going to work, I'd rather be prepared having this option on. No. Oh yeah, there's this cursor blinking phase. It's not important, but makes a nice difference. Just a tiny detail, but some of you will notice this and some will not. Okay.
Get into using the thing.
Yeah. I'm just want to check if there's something else. We should check here what I think it's all right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay, this is really big. I feel like I like really small screen. Yeah. So I'm not very experienced coder because I started coding like few months ago, and I actually know only Python, but all the stuff I'm going to show is quite universal because this is about using cursor with file. Okay, wow, this is really interesting.
Zachary said if you want to zoom out one, he should still be visible. So if it's too blown up right now, you can zoom out one tick.
Is this fine right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was worried for the docs. I tried to add to my cursor and it only pulled in one page. Do you get it to pull all of OpenAI's API docs?
Let me see. As I said, it's not always for you.
In the past, what I did is I just went through every single page and copied all of it into a rich text file, and then, which I didn't know if there was like a magical way for them to scrape in the back.
Yeah, I just hope I'm going to fix this. I think it works better right now after latest updates because Haystack wasn't indexing at all, and it's kind of works now. Think, yeah, like the best thing you can do if that just doesn't work is create the docs to empty files and manually add them to project folder. You can also play with changing the URL because sometimes you have to shorten the URL.
Yeah, it looks like I need to fiddle with it. But
Yeah, nobody knows that except the devs. I didn't figure this out.
that's all right. You can ignore it and keep going with what you're doing. Then I'll come back to it later.
Okay, just let's read that quite line. Then no. Okay. So first thing I do when I am start new project is because we need something here to work on. So maybe I'll start with the basics of the work. So let's say going to do some Python project. So in order to make LLMs not lose the track of what we are going to do, we are going to set the overview of the project by having shows the latest sonnet here, which is the best one right now for most of the jobs. So simple prompts to create an overview or no, prompts. Okay, now I have no idea what's okay. Please help me in this. That's surprisingly hard to think of something out of the blue. Maybe yeah, with
For that scrapes all of OpenAI's docs.
okay. Let's begin. Us. Oh, okay. Here we go again. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be the first thing I'm going to explain, but happy there is some kind of a problem with markdown rendering in chats, and it failed proper display face properly anything that is in markdown because of the backtick. So as you can see here, that shouldn't look this. But anyway, let's try to click apply button. Okay, so it does it for yes. All of this should fish here. And how they fix this? But you have either icon here over the composer. We press this, it failed again. Prefer. Yeah, we are now using Composer, which is like better version of chat. Composer actually works on files. It can create files, edits many files at once. So it's pretty neat for it can she writes maybe in when there are one or two prompts can make entire folder structure make for unnecessary files. It's most of them. So let's try to, with this right in Composer, give this stuff. Overview. Okay, this is really bad. As you can see, this is unfortunately not fixed yet. It's a bummer because it makes actually impossible to work on MD files inside Cursor. So we'll just do this, see what happens.
Manuel, I know you do a lot of stuff with ND files. What is your workaround for this in Cursor?
I'm trying to type it in the chat and actually doesn't let me because of exactly this.
It's impossible to do this right now.
What I do before I ask it, I say use type or like some other combo instead of backtick, and usually that works. And then in the editor, I just replace it by hand.
Yeah, unfortunately we
sense.
have crowds, which saves the day. Okay, this is maybe a little bit too much. Yeah, okay, but anyway, since we are here, we have this summary view with project structure, which is great. We have nice details. So the next thing I'm gonna do here is asking or to create a list now, create check file with all to-dos. Let's try, that should make the tree. So that gives me a nice checklist that we are going to put in our project folder. And then Cursor will actually check off everything that is done. I'm going to check off from the checklist. And this way. Cool. Oh, and not the to cherche where. What I really like to do is check autosave, so I don't have to remember about saving files there. It's like, which is really great thing. Let's see, file overview. So we have now two files, which basically set all the plan for entire app. So this is quite important to start always use, at least use overviews and stuff like this. You can of course experiment and do more detailed or less detailed, depending on the project requirements. But this lets you to keep on track throughout the entire project and make sure that LLMs are not going to change direction like they like to do, especially in new context windows and new chats. So this is a way to actually accomplish what's planned. Oh yeah, let's go to Composer once we want, and now we add those two files here to the context, and we can actually start do the coding. So yeah, this is the new Sonax. Let's work. Yeah, that should be enough. Okay, perfect. Oh, yeah, maybe I should have used out from extensions for. As you can see, we have set up creating all the files are created for us. as always with some errors and problems, but we'll fix this in the next iterations. But I'm not going to make it all work. This is just to show features I can leave this hour. Yeah, the files are here. What we can do now is, of course, ask to your work. And now we'll ask you to check off boxes. Check off boxes from checklists. Or no, yeah, let's see. Sure. Yeah, this is really nice. We can do the same with, we can do a change log. We can do commits empty file and tell it to add a new commit message after each iteration. Okay, let's come in a main composer view. We can go through all the files that were added to see this view or change the content. This whole new stuff here. This one. So yes, if we press accept on each of the files, it will accept the changes for a separate file. And we can accept all in the main view, which accepts all and says, okay, what else? Cursor, yeah, and that's Cursor rules files. Cursor rules. Okay, this is what I've been talking about earlier. This is the system prompt for.
Before we move on from Composer, I'd love to get a take from the other folks on here. Where have you found Composer to, like, what's the sweet spot for it? Where does it work well and where does it not? Because, like, I've definitely found sometimes it's incredible and it just has that sort of magic. It'll do all the things. And sometimes it feels like gets confused. So I'm curious, Alex, you can speak to this, but also Manuel, Dylan, Trace, if as you guys have used. First, sir, when do you find yourself using Composer?
I don't use Composer really. I should.
Yes, you should. It definitely should.
I use it honestly most of the time. Like I often start and chat, but I'm actually not sure if I should these days. And I pretty often then switch to Composer as soon as I do multiple files.
Really nice thing about Composer is that, except the fact it can create files and edit them, it also by default has access to entire code base, which makes it do usually the right thing to the code base because it takes into consideration everything there is in the code base. Okay, we have 20 minutes left, so I better hurry up.
Do you know how to show the context that it takes? Because so this morning it told me like, oh, the embeddings are down. We're reverting to BM25. And then it was actually showing me which queries it ran against my code base and which result it got. And then it disappeared once it got back to embeddings. Do you maybe have a trick?
I didn't understand the question actually.
Then forget it. Then if you're wrong, sorry.
Like, where is? Okay, so that's a quick trick or cursor rules, because you're going to easily find many cursor rules files. You know how it works. So it's usually best to craft it, especially for the product you're working on. But this is, I think it's a quite rare trick. You can specify commands. So now I commanded it to create a commit message. Bash code block. So when I actually I don't need cursor rules in the context because it's already there by default. So when I use commit, which I defined here, this comment, and okay, this is, by the way, I'll do this in a moment. You can call a lot of things by pressing files folders, some code snippets. You can send it to web, or it can search Xamarin, whatever it needs. You can also put entire code base in the context, but right now we are going to use commit difference. Okay, I forgot that we are not here. So I'm not actually sure if this will work right now. Let's see. So this is the trick. It's a code block, bash. So when I press run, it will run this command in terminal. One click, and it's all added to the Git. I really like this one. So yeah, use your imagination, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff you can do. You create tests, unit tests, and manual.
Hold on. Are there any limit? Wait, just to make sure I understand, because this was totally new to me. It created the executable bash file, but it didn't put it in your code base, and you could just run it from chat. Any sort of, here's a command that I want to be able to run from my editor. You can just create yourself a slash command that'll dump that into a block, and now you have an interactive. That's wild.
I have, yeah, I've defined a bunch of slash commands to create an RFC, to create a changelog entry, to create all kinds of things, but creating scripts is actually really clever. So I'm glad
Can
it's
you
all that.
capture the output right back into chat?
There's probably an extension for that in the terminal.
Yeah. What was the question?
And so I'm now imagining this as essentially hot programming environment, hot LLM programming environment within this. So can I use this to essentially create a function call where I will call something out into my terminal and it will capture the output and bring it back into my chat context?
Why? I don't know. Maybe.
You could just do that by piping it to PV copy and pasting it, which I find myself doing constantly, or just doing, I use the clear command a lot in the terminal. And so then I just take whatever I have and do Command A, Shift Command L, which is within the context. And I'm doing that all day long.
Yeah, but generally, if you want to interact with terminal, when you focus on the terminal, you press Control K, and you have again a little chat in here, and you can just whatever you want to create all the commands, and it has access to the terminal output. There's no direct way to connect normal chat or composer with terminal, but you can select and chat to chat and the composer.
Yeah. But I guess following Trace's suggestion, you could like pipe it to T and send it to PB copy, and then you
I exactly asked it to do just that. It works great.
anything you do there, you say pipe it to T and PB copy, so it shows up in your terminal, but then you can just paste it directly. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think I have some ideas.
When
Put force for the weekend. And you ended go far enough.
You can pipe it to T and PB copy. So does that mean you pipe it to your clipboard so you can then just automatically paste in the chat?
Can you be peace? I will share this.
actually, Manuel, do you have it working? Do you want to show it real quick?
Yeah, let me try. It says I can't share my screen. I just rebooted and macOS 10 updated and some nonsense. So I think, oh, come on. That's like the day this should happen. I can. Does this work? No.
I can see.
Yeah.
So that's it really rude.
I don't know. Why would Discord not allow me to share my screen? Is that some new security nonsense?
A lot of folks run into that their first time trying to share on Discord, so you might need to configure it if it's a new computer.
It's not. I just had to reboot because my audio was not working, and then now it's done. You know where to set that up?
Okay. In the meantime, I'm just maybe silently do some stuff because we have 7 minutes
Go
left.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. We'll take that off. I'm going to see if I can set up just a new somewhere where I'm not going to show my work.
Okay, that's weird. Why we so tab is the one thing. Okay, that's new. Okay, so maybe another time we'll get through cushion tab. Anyway, in the editor, we can select text. We can edit. Let's flash edit. And kill the here. We can choose. Actually, what I do very often is use GPT-4o Mini for simple edits, like, for example, generating the doc strings or making some pretty easy edits. GPT-4o Mini is free and it's not limited. So this doesn't use the fast users of all the premium models. So it's actually also it's best for O Mini is also best to use for this tricks with generating bash codes as well. It won't fail on simple tasks and it's limitless. Indeed. Please. This from considerate dogs chunks. So this is how it works. Okay, it didn't enhance the code, but it's the dog street. So yeah, I would say accept this. We can also add to whatever is selected, tell the chat to control code. So it will hit on this portion of the code. And when it's done, you don't need it. Now, when it's done, I just press apply and already did the job in the background actually, which is really nice. I don't have to wait until it goes through their file. I don't know what's changed, but something is changed. Quite a few new lines here. Okay, what else is there? Something not, yeah, okay. Notepad. This is a feature of Composer. We have to open Control Panel Composer to access Notepads. Notepads is it is a cursor rule file which can be used in the same manner, but basically we can put in a Notepad like everything, all the brainstorm, all the instructions, the user stories, whatever we want. And this is like the basic file. It's not used by default. It's already saved. So now if I want to include, I can choose the notepad and I can work whatever is, love chat or another thing that makes working with Cursor more easier. Okay, Cursor presented. Well, I still annotations. It was main thing that I okay to view thought. On keep
Robot. That's for Alex now because I'm not able to hear her anymore.
What?
Yeah, audio issues starting to come through. Pause for a sec. Try again.
Hello? Enter free?
We can hear you now. Sorry, it was just all coming through this robot.
Yeah, I guess my mic got bored with all the stuff when you say CursorIgnoreFile, which is very useful. I'm not going to explain what files are for. It basically uses gitignore by default, and you can extend ignore files or folders to narrow down the indexed code base. Because if you have a lot of files, and if the code base is really big, you rather want to narrow down the code base, the index code base to the part that you're actually working on. Just the indexed code in the code base. By the way, the rule is when you can actually of the way it's indexed code base, the reason is that
We're
you can
you're very
include I'm losing
anymore. Yeah.
low
It's nestable.
or you're losing me.
Jumpy audio for both. Discord is running rampant. We're running low on time, so
I have very slow internet connection. Unfortunately, maybe that's one of the factors.
Let's maybe start wrapping. Actually, quick question, Alex, if you can hear, is cursor ignore, is that nestable or is that only at the root? Can you do it in subfolders?
I don't know. Probably yes. If, as far as I know, you can do this with git ignore, right? You can put it in the subfolders. So I would say
I think we could try it.
You could ask Composer to create like nested directories with some like haystack strings and files, and then just try to see if it is able to answer your questions.
That's true. We can play around it. So we've got 4 minutes left. I definitely learned a lot here. I want to show real quick that PD copy thing because people were asking about it. Of course, it won't let me share my screen, probably because
I think it's because Alex is still presenting.
Alex is still presenting. Alex, can you stop presenting for a sec so we can try something else?
yeah, sure.
It's not Zoom where it lets me just take over. Can you kill the present? I'm not. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely what it was.
Yeah,
Instantly.
that's what it was.
So to show real quick, you can see this was the example that we were talking about. So if you write, I just did the very simple one of ls or something like that. But whatever your slash command is, and you say, okay, pipe it to pb copy, then I run that. And if I jump in here and paste, I've got immediately the contents from my ls in this folder. So whatever your commands are, if you tell them and end with a pipe to pb copy if you're on Mac or whatever it is on your operating system, then you can paste it straight back into the chat and roll.
And so that would run continuously.
Okay, that's neat.
You could, it's like a one time I hit run and it does it.
Okay.
Like
I was hoping that you could basically have the output errors from the code, then quickly paste it into your copy so you can then copy it back into the chat continuously.
oh, so you could just run a thing and capture it. Oh yeah, what were you saying, Manuel?
Cursor actually adds linting errors and like compile errors from the hints of the S code into the context. And you can actually find in the settings, there's like a setting where you can ask it to do it twice. So I wish we had a little bit more insight into what Cursor does, how it like augments all your stuff in the background, because such things are like, I think they added a lot of them, and I think it actually degrades my experience.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add about the copy thing from the terminal. I just found out when you go into Cursor, and so suppose you type ls, and then it comes, you have a result. You can actually do something like, I think it's Control-Shift-L, and it adds the result automatically to the, so Control-Shift-L is for chat, and the Control-I is for Composer. I don't know if you can try. I can share my screen.
Yeah, go for it.
I can't. I have a problem with Discord. If someone wants to try, but I just tried it and it seems to work. So I don't know if you even need to pipe into the clipboard.
Interesting. So I was trying it just now. I'll share real quick and then we can run over a sec. I don't have anything after. So if anyone else wants to stick around. So I was just trying to do it still in this demo area. So I did ls and then you said Control-Shift-K. Or
No,
sorry,
L.
Control-Shift-L.
Yeah. Does it work?
Right now it's not. not
Maybe you
using
need
it
to
too
click
well.
on.
It's there, but it doesn't seem to have the context.
First, Control A, like people are
Oh,
saying in the chat.
Control A, Control Shift L.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I can Control A, and then I get my whole terminal history there. So if I cleared my history,
Yeah.
I could do it.
Maybe you can click on the output that you want to.
Yeah, so we
Hey,
could definitely do that.
I also just noticed you can do @lint errors, which maybe answers is interesting for, I don't know who talked about that for Dylan.
Hmm. Okay.
Actually, are more lint errors.
I don't have any lint hairs, so it's not filling it.
This is just all.
And
Yeah, I
But
can.
there's one thing I have to say about sliding errors. You can turn on automatic linting error fixing in settings, but I wouldn't advise you to do so the moment. I guess they will have to make this feature work better. But the problem is when, let's say you have quite a lot of splitting errors and its composer generates the code, then it automatically runs the linting fixing. And quite often it happens that, for example, if the lint error is, for example, unused import, because there was an import which should be used in the code, but composer forgets to actually put the definition in the code. When it fixes the lint error, this kind, it will just remove the unused import instead of actually making the use of the import.
Yeah, it's like applying lint with all. I just said like blue.
For a piece of strain, but I'm not doing it.
I think this is an example of naively applying the tools is not always
Yeah.
the right answer.
Yeah, you can actually break the stuff it just did. So I say turn it off right now.
I'm going to quickly show something which might come in handy. It's like a little bit similar to the bash thing. So I have a web server that runs scripts for me, right? That's dynamic content that I want to gather. If I go here, just like grabs the API definition, you have to make this a public URL, right? Every time I refresh this, it will like actually run the script again. And then those I can pass into the context here. It's not very hard to write a server that just executes CGI bins, right? It's like nicely unsafe, but I use that a lot because as I'm doing more and more complex things, especially with external libraries that I also write and their API changes, that way I'm always sure that I have like the latest definition, and I don't want to necessarily refer to it in Composer because I really just need the function definitions. So I have a lot of scripts that just give me, right, if I go to Conversation API, it will actually, this is all generated live. So if I edit it, it will update it, and then I just paste the URL back into Cursor. And I'm not sure, I think it abbreviates the URL, so I'm not sure how clever this is. That's my way of doing this kind of stuff as well.
Awesome. We are well over time. It seems like we both covered a lot of things, but then also are still just tapping into all the ways we can use this tool. So maybe we can do some more next week. I'd love also if folks want to, we started a thread a little later in the week this week about things, but maybe we can throw a thread or just stuff in AI and channel of things we want to show.